think that's where, the starting point for an educator is really a little bit of awareness and a little bit of understanding, because it's not expected that everyone should become an expert. We just want raising awareness and understanding just can help so much, at the start. And then really asking if educators are noticing these things and in a lot of cases don't know what to do. That's understandable. Do you have student support that can help? Do you have anyone with expertise around you? Talk to your colleagues, see what more you can learn about it. Yeah.
So we've addressed the question a little bit about how do educators identify these? And I noticed, like, in the question that we'd paired beforehand, it was a bit more specific. How can educators identify learning differences in their students without being intrusive or making assumptions? So do you want to dig into that just a little bit further?
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing, and we talk about this always in education, is get to know them, make them feel safe, make them feel included, and they are more likely to open up and tell you what they struggle with. They might not even know that they probably know something's wrong because they struggle and they're really they're challenged in their learning, but they may never have heard of dyslexia or whatever else it may be. So getting to know a little bit more about them.
Look, let's talk about the benefits or the potential benefits of recognizing and addressing learning differences and in your job as a teacher. So I guess an obvious benefit is this kind of awareness that if you and your student both know that there's something going on, then you can kind of feel like you're on the same team and you can address it together, and maybe that's going to result in a more engaged student.
Yeah.
So what else? What are some of the other benefits?
Yeah, I think the benefits is going to be success both ways. So success for your ākonga, success for you, but also success, you imagine as what the whānau, what that would mean to them as well. Potentially there could be dyslexia through the whole whānau.
So I wanted to ask you about that. Are these learning differences something that can kind of come down the family tree? Like you see it in a whakapapa for a family?
Yeah, absolutely. So it is genetic, and that's why, it could run through generations. And a passion for me is kind of raising that awareness, particularly with our Māori and Pasifika whānau, because for a lot of families, they might not know what these are, what these things are, let alone that they exist. But knowing and having some support could just change their lives, and if there was a possibility to do something in that space, it would be, so worth it. So I think educators need to remember that the smallest thing they might do could make this massive difference in this person's life, like the things, and it's just little things that can be so big for other people. The benefits too you'll see self-esteem and confidence rise, and just the changes. And I can probably give you an example of a student that I work with. He was 17, and I actually worked with him while I was doing my master's in education, where I specialised in literacy. And so I just did my own little testing with him, which is actually out of the Learning Progressions booklet. So starting points, they do have little tests that can quickly identify certain things. So his reading age was 9 and he was 17. I asked him if he'd be comfortable to work together, and he did. We worked together for 40 minutes a week for 5 weeks. And when I retested him, he'd gone up, and I know it's still low but he'd gone up 2 years.
Wow.
In his reading level. So he'd gone up to 11. So I think what it shows is just from a really short time frame, the change that can happen. But the point that I'm trying to make is the key to that was me building a relationship with him being comfortable to sit with me and do, we were using Scrabble letters, we were doing all sorts of things. But what I found was every time he came to see me, he was changing.
Right.
And by the end, he had a girlfriend, he just had a haircut, and his everything about him, his demeanor changed, his confidence grew, his self-esteem. He wanted to keep on studying. He was doing the hospitality course. He finished that. And I only spent a little bit of time with him, but it was specific, and it was getting to know him and him trusting me and all those things, as well as doing explicit learning with him, teaching and learning with him. But I think from those experiences, it's shown me what a difference it can make, like real life changing stuff.
That's fantastic. Let's stop that one there, and we'll catch up again shortly with number 2, which is looking at some of the underlying causes. Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Awesome.